Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one, the Waratahs taking on the Chiefs. Now, we've already seen an interesting result in this round of Super Rugby Pacific. The Crusaders getting themselves a victory over the Rebels, 39 points to nil. Now, the question is, can the Chiefs back that up, get themselves an away win as the competition gets just that little bit closer? But looking at the Stormers, that's not correct. How about we go with the Waratahs instead? It is going to be in the front row, Hayden Thompson-Stringer, Julian Heaven, and also Harry Johnson-Holmes slotting in as the tight head prop. Hugh Sinclair and also Amatasero is going to be there at number 5. Lockie Swinton, Charlie Gamble, and Ned Hannigan in the loose forward trio. Jake Gordon and Tane Edmed, the 9-10, with Lolakai Faketi, with Joey Walton on his outside at 13. A player who's been underrated throughout this season for what he's been able to do for the Tars. Tristan Riley at 11. Mark Nwanganitawasi out on the other wing with Max Jorgensen slotting in at number 15. Then for the Chiefs, in their starting lineup, Aidan Ross, Simasoni Taukiaho and George Dyer as the front row. Jimmy Tupou and Tupou Vai will be there. And the locking duo, then Sama Penifenau, Kalen Boshier, and also once again they have gone with Wallace Satiti as their number 8. So no Luke Jacobson in the starting lineup here for the Chiefs. Cortez Ratama and Damien McKenzie as the 9-10. That is a combination the Chiefs have gone to time and time again throughout this season, has led to them having quite a bit of success. Dorame Kapoihipi with Anton Leonard-Brown at outside centre. Then at Tēnā Nana Satoro, Moni Narua and Sean Stevenson as a back 3. And did you watch the Crusaders? I did. And they actually played some decent rugby, the Crusaders. And they've backed up what I've said the whole season, even though people do not like it. I say if the Crusaders are in the top 8, and if they can make it to the top 8, which is something that even some people doubt, like they're still going to be a dangerous side. You don't want to face the Crusaders in a quarterfinal. That's all I'm going to say. And this will be an interesting match, says William. And also, how are you doing tonight, Kiwi Lad, says Kristen Rush. I'm doing very well. Excited for this contest. Hopefully it is going to be a good one between these two sides, of course. An Anzac matchup. Waratahs are taking on the Crusaders. Mark Nwanganitawasi, he'll be hoping for a big game here. Looking through at what the Tars have done in their last 2 contests. They were unfortunately defeated by the Brumbies by that 24 points on April 6th. Then they had actually a bye week last week, but the week prior to that, getting themselves the Golden Point win over the Crusaders, 43 points to 40. Then for the Chiefs, what they have done so far this season, 68 points to 12, win over Moana Pacifica. And then they lost their most recent fixture up against the Hurricanes. And then they've also had a bye week. So both of these sides should be coming into this game relatively fresh. And that seems to either help some sides or it seems to hurt some sides. Now, the Brumbies are one in particular that we saw seem to really hurt them having a week off. Let's see whether or not it's the same for either of these sides. But Damien McKenzie at the moment, he is 5th on the overall points scoring for Super Rugby. Still a little bit behind Richie Moonga, around that 60-point mark. And why don't you stream the Crusaders 39-0 Rebels game, says Kristen Rush. We've got to be a bit strategic with how many streams we've got happening this weekend. Plus, I just didn't know if it was going to be a good game, if I'm being completely honest. I thought that maybe if it was going to be similar to what we saw throughout the rest of the Crusader season, it was going to be very 50-50 and perhaps a bit of a rough game. But luckily, seems like they've turned it around a little bit. The returner, Scott Barrett, the returner, David Arvelli, and a front row that looked formidable helped the Crusaders in the right direction. But Damien McKenzie is going to be kicking off this one from right to left in a very short moment. We haven't got any idea where Luke Jacobson is, says Joe Webby. I am not actually too sure. I haven't heard anything about an injury, but that does not mean that there isn't an injury there for him. It could also be that they just want to rest him for this game, as they don't actually have him on the bench either. But Jordan Way, the referee in charge of this one. We have got the how are you, says Ollie, doing very well. And what's up, Paul Bags? Says Tony, welcome in, mate. I saw that your channel, there was a video and someone must have got hold of your account, old Heath from, where was Heath from? Hamden? No, not Hamden. Hamden's close to me. But Huntley, that's the one. But now kick off in this contest. I was at Hamden recently, quite nice there. Good fish and chips. Joey Walton looking for the cross kick off the get-go and goes straight into the hands of Mark Nwanganitawasi. Looks for the grubber in behind and it just drifts into touch. I don't believe it's a 50-22, but it's a great kick in behind for the Waratahs. I mean that with affection. Says Tony, and how's it going, Kiwi lads? Hope your week's been warm. Sure cold tonight, says Blues Nate. How do you feel when the Rebels changed their whole front row? It was the right thing to do. Like, at the end of the day, they were getting absolutely peppered in that front row. Like, and they had to make the change. Did it make much of a difference? Maybe a little tiny bit, but it was still getting dominated by the end of the game. So, you know, like, it was the right thing to do in that moment, though. They called that as not straight. At least the Waratahs did. The referee did not. Kicked a mine from Damien McKenzie. Does manage to find touch just inside of Chiefs territory. Hello, peeps. How are we all? Says Bads of Blaze doing very well. Oh, bit of push and shove here. And that seems to be happening off the ball as well. Like, the ball isn't even in the field of play at the moment, and there's already a bit of argy-bargy happening in the Anzac matchup between these two sides. I don't know what kicked that off, but someone must have shoved someone. Referee now has to try and get it under control. Jordan Way, I don't think he actually saw any of it. An 8-4 heave from Huntley, very nasty bloke he is. Oh, it's gone over the top, nicely taken by Ned Hannigan. Now back across, Dane Emmed. Rush defence on Jorgensen from Amoni Narawa, manages to make the tackle, and now Peach tackled just inside of the Chiefs' half. Already 2 minutes into this contest between these two sides. It seems like it's going to be a fast-paced one. Do you think it will be a close game? I hope it is. Do I think it will be, though? I feel like it will definitely be determined by this first 15 or so minutes. Oh, that's a red card from Summer Penny Finau. Or is it? Tane Emmed stayed down. If that's not on the chest, that's a red card and probably about a 4-week suspension here. It does not look good for Emmed. Now, first glance it looked bad. Maybe it hit him in the chest, though. But either way, he absolutely crumbled the fly half, who is still on the ground currently. And South Africa, we miss playing all of these teams, says another person. And ouch, says Blues Nate. Yeah, it was a massive hit from Summer Penny Finau. Trying to enforce that physicality. That was almost accidental offside from Cortez Ratama, but it sits up now, and they will go back for the knock-on from the Chiefs. It's going to be the scrum feed for the Waratahs. Are they going to have a look at this Tane Emmed one? He's coughing up a lung at the moment. How high is the shot? Oh, it's got him here. So, oh, and now more push and shove between these two sides. I think they've just seen the replay. McKenzie's smiling in the middle of it all. The question is, did Summer Penny Finau wrap his arms? I don't think it was late. So that might be one benefit for him there, but it certainly was an ugly shot. Going to see a replay one more time. Oh, it's such an ugly shot. The worst thing for Tane Emmed is it's almost completely legal, I think. So like, he's just been folded in half. Like he's a deck chair, and now he's pretty much been told, nah, play on, mate. Don't worry about that. Okay, so they said that it didn't look like much of an arm wrap. That's the commentators anyway, but he also didn't not wrap them, if that makes sense. No head contact. Yeah, just a really harsh shot. Fair play to Tane Emmed, showing his inner Damien McKenzie like we see for the Chiefs. He gets smashed all the time, just gets back up. But already we're seeing 2 bits of biffo between these two shots. Great shot, says Tony there. And Rebels weren't good. I don't know how they are top 4 after that game like that, says Beds Blaze. It's just Super Rugby, isn't it? You just don't know what's going to happen each week. Like, underdogs all win, then underdogs all lose, then a team that should have won lose, and team that should have lost won. It's just a very confusing competition. Greetings, Hamish and chat. Looking like a great game, says Mr. Orland. Yeah, physical one. These two sides seem like, if this was an MMA fight, you'd say these two people don't like each other very much. There's a lot of animosity, and it seems to be from a couple of the big hits early, as well as the bit of push and shove afterwards. You'd say that there's a little bit of something in this game, bit of feeling for the Anzac matchup. Now, Jake Gordon going off to the left-hand side here for the Waratahs, who are now sitting 30 metres out from the line. We can tell that because there is the marks from the Rugby League field. Lalakai Foketi running it forward, and there's an advantage against the Chiefs now for offside. Gordon looking both ways, goes off to Harry Johnson-Holmes, finds it. Oh, he was panicking there a little bit, Emmed, but he still hangs on to the ball. What's the temp for you, Hammy? We are currently sitting 5 degrees Celsius, so we're slightly chilly, you could say. Now, running forward again from Harry Johnson-Holmes. Back to the left-hand side. Shot on a Matosero. To the left again. Rush defence from a Moni Nuttall. It doesn't work out. Did you wait outside for Air Force plane to fly over your town yesterday, only for it to fly out to sea because of wind? No. No, I didn't. 8 in the contest. Says Distracted Sports. It also worked that it's a bit chilly here and a bit of a needle. Or a bit of needle. Says William there, but that is offside against the Chiefs. The Waratahs, though, kicking for the corner. Not willing to take an easy 3 and instead saying we want as many points as we can physically get here. Now, something to take of note is the last game that we saw the Waratahs play, they conceded 40 points, but they still won. So that's a bonus. 6 minutes into the contest at the moment, and a line-out throw here for Julian Heaven, who's had quite a good start to his season. I have to watch the game on my laptop because I am in a batch. I'm in a batch in a place called Awaro. It's about a 2-hour drive from Christchurch, and my dad is still at home supporting the Chiefs. Says Kristen Rush there. So hopefully you are enjoying your slight holiday. Hi, Hamish. Same here, 5 degrees Celsius, says Kevin. Cortez Ratama. Back to McKenzie, who does clear the line. Still 0 between these two sides after 6.5 minutes. I don't know. I feel like the Tars have got a good chance of scoring first here, which isn't a very popular opinion. Like, that's not to say that I think they'll win the game. I just feel like, in terms of the, likeliness, I feel like we're seeing more of the Waratahs in terms of their meters made. Chiefs look like they're going to be able to get the first line break try, though. But just in terms of throwing the forwards at the line, the Tars have been doing that pretty well. Oh, that was a rough pass from Gordon. A nice diving catch from Thompson Stringer. Now back across, skip pass. Going out to Mark Nwanganetawasi. Now moves up to about 27 metres out. Edmed going across. Harry Johnson home. Rush defence on him by Jimmy Tupou. Trying to find a kick. Was a Lalakai Fuketi. One doesn't really open up for him though. Ryan Garcia and Hayner boxing match are rubbing off here. The Chiefs versus Stars. That was an interesting one, wasn't it? Everyone thought Ryan Garcia was going crazy, but really he was just using it as a tactic. And then he put $2 million on himself to win back 12. So he's had a pretty good day at the office, you'd say. Another advantage going the way of the Waratahs. And what is your prediction? Because mine is Chiefs 30 to the Waratahs 22. Probably not a mile off at the moment. 14 degrees here. Freezing, says Distracted Sports. Tell you what, we've got to get you down south, Tony. Play a little bit of golf in a late afternoon. That's a nice run down the wing from Dylan Peach. And also I was at Kai Moana at 10 a.m. hungover. Got a smash burger with power sauce and mussels. Fight jets all over. Right, we've got another time off here. They're going upstairs to have a look at something. Now, I would assume that it's going to be another big hit. Right, the actions of 11 White. That is a Tino Nana Satoro. A quick hands. Oh, direct head contact. He's probably not the player we would have predicted to get sent off the field, but there is a chance that he is the one who goes to the bin for at least the 10 minutes here. So, it was out wide. Really? I have a better angle than that, says the TMO. That was kind of like, oh yeah, no, that's not that good from that angle. It's probably going to be a yellow card for Tino Nana Satoro. From behind, it looked like it was nothing more than a little bit of bump and grind, as the song says, but from the front angle, it looked a little bit different, so it is going to be a yellow card here. And Amish, what was pushing early on? What with pushing early on? What? Oh, yeah, no, they're just a bit fiery, these two sides. They seem to want to get a bit of push and shove going, which is good. I mean, you want to see a game where it looks like both sides actually want to win it and want to put a bit of something in it. And quick Anze, Hamish, old Ryan Garcia, and 10 of the bin, nothing more needed. And we'll go to the bunker, says William Presley. But yeah, he gets him good with that one at Tino Nana Satoro. Like, got him with the head rocking back a little bit. Well spotted by the TMO. The Waratahs think they're going to go for the corner here once more, definitely because the Chiefs have now got one less man to be able to defend in their back line. They may even consider a scrum. might be a decent option, although it's hard to tell what your scrum's going to do, seeing as they haven't actually had it yet. Tainted just waiting. What are we waiting for? Everyone's waiting for something. I don't know what we're waiting for. Everyone's standing around. Oh, okay, someone's spraying someone with spray. Like one of the players, that is. So, like, that's all right. An eye on Hamish, there's Robert, but Tainted now kicks this one into the corner. They will be 5 metres out, and the perfect chance for the Tars to take a 7-point lead. Or maybe 5, depending on how the kicking goes. Are we more? And we need, this might come out, says Brandon. Oh, a little bit overthrown, and Kalen Boshier, the player who decided to go for the boot, and that is actually a very good kick down towards the halfway line. Chance for a 50-22 here for the Waratahs if they want to take on the kick, but instead Jorgensen runs it forward. Gordon now back across to Lockie Swinton. Good shot on him by Jimmy Tupou, I should say. Games are you streaming this weekend, says Kirsten Rusher. We have got Fiji and Draw versus Moana Pacifica. We've got Brumbies versus Hurricanes. We've got Reds versus Blues. We've got Bulls versus Ospreys. We've got Lions versus Leinster, and we've got Stormers versus Leinster and Lions versus Munster. All happening on the channel, which is one of the reasons why we did decide to skip that last game, so that we have some sort of voice left by the end of the weekend. Go the Tars, says Kaliapa there. Another penalty does go the way of the Waratahs. Discipline of the Chiefs, letting them down throughout the first 9.5 minutes here. Moana by 6, says Ivan. Simbasoni Tolkiaho, big man who's under a bit of pressure at the moment in terms of whether or not he will get into that All Black selection. Of course, he's right up there, but I think Asafa Moore at the moment has probably got that little bit of an edge in terms of being above. Maybe even George Bell. I know that Razor likes himself a Crusader, and the youngster George Bell has been looking pretty strong, so maybe he will be a bit of a bolter in this AB side. But now lining up this kick here, Tane Edmed, they've decided that this time they want to go for the 3 rather than the 7, which is an interesting choice. Hang on, what we got now? Okay, they're on the wrong mark there for Tane Edmed, so this is going to make it a little bit more challenging for him. Okay, that's a bit interesting. So Tane Edmed was on the wrong mark, getting ready to line up the kick. He gets told that the correct mark is about 5 or 10 metres off to the side, and then he says, no, I no longer want to take this kick. I'd like to go for the corner, please, sir. And that's going to happen now. That's something you don't see too often. I didn't know you were allowed to do that, but it works. You like the draw, eh? I like the way that the draw play, yeah. And Super Rugby is back. I missed 4 games on a Saturday. I like it better than 2. I do not. I prefer either 2 or 3 games on a Saturday and then 1 game on a Sunday too, or 2 games on a Sunday, rather than 4 games back to back to back. It's just pretty brutal. Definitely because we got 3 games of the URC back to back to back after that. So it's nicer when there is only 2 or 3 games a day. A ball available off the back. Now running through. Julian Even will score the try. And the Waratahs are on the board first. We did well to predict that one, that is for sure. But the Tars, Tane Edmed, it's worked out perfectly for them, changing where the mark was, which then leads them going to the corner. Are their crowd hypers? A nice goal, Kiwi lads. Says Blues, Nate. 11 minutes into this contest, and there was just a massive open gap. I'm not sure who was supposed to have him. I think Taukiaho, he just got himself in the wrong place there. Ended up joining the breakdown at the wrong time, or the maul at the wrong time. And then that allowed Julian Haven to just run over, score himself the try. And the Tars take the lead. That's a great finish from the big man there. That's 12 minutes in as well. Tars being able to apply the early pressure. You're curious to see what the odds are for this game. I know that at the start of this contest, the Chiefs were favourite. We'll see whether or not that's changed now. The kick is successful from Tainey, but ironically about in the same position as it would have been if they had still taken that 3. But $2.50 underdogs, the Waratahs are sitting at the moment. But of course, a lot can change. Give us a time code when you get a chance. There's the Tractor Sports. So currently, okay, they don't have a score up on the screen. One moment, we're going to find it. Waiting. Come on. They're going to show it soon. Just every replay. We got 12 minutes 35. Just hit. Okay, the yellow card is remaining as a yellow card as well. Saders lost again? No, they won 39-0 up against the Rebels. 41-second delay because where I am. Says Brandon, that's going to be kicked off down towards the 22 Waratahs. Now looking to run this ball back. Looks like there was an injury in back play. That almost looked like Julian Heaven, the man who just scored himself the try. I know he's back up to his feet. The Rebels were really poor. Says Jimmy Cooper. Yeah, certainly did not play like a side that has had a few good games throughout the season in terms of being able to beat some decent sides. Although they haven't beaten too many New Zealand sides, which I think is something that's suited them. Like the Highlanders at the moment seem to be a bit of a exception to the rule in some regards, and sometimes the Crusaders have been as well. But Cortez Ratama now about to kick this one up high. And his left boot down towards the 22. It is taken back by Tane Edmed. Isn't able to find touch on the full. Covering a lot of ground in back play was Damien McKenzie. Now runs it up to the halfway line. Trying to break around the outside of Mark Nwanganitawasi. Found the offload, but not much space at all. For Anton Leonard Brown kept the ball alive, but then there was the knock on. And they'll go back for it as the flag was up for the ball being in touch. The crowd aren't happy, but there is a touchline for a reason. There was a knock on. Right, that much. Where was the. Wait. That angle didn't really show it. They said that it had gone out first. But that angle didn't show us a ball in touch, so that was an interesting one. Back weights at the moment, 910 kgs for the Waratahs compared to the 898 of the Chiefs. So a little bit of an advantage of 12 kgs. A touchline for what? For the ball. So like there was a knock on and then they said that the ball hit the touchline. We couldn't really see it from our angle though, but that is why the Waratahs weren't able to play the knock on advantage. Jack Gordon. Now another step there. Lalakai Foketi. Tackled on the halfway line. Well controlled by Cortez Ratama. Now Lockie Swinton. For the Chiefs, they just need to make sure they stay disciplined. Already after the first 15 minutes, they've probably given away 5 or so penalties, including that yellow card of a Monin Narawa. We have got there Amy Guns. Or Amy Guinz, maybe is how you say that. But welcome in. I hope you are doing very well. And OA says Ivan there, but now going off to the right-hand side. Here comes Harry Johnson Holmes. I think they've had a late change. Johnson Holmes is actually playing 1 rather than Hayden Thompson. Stringer. It's quick hands. Lalakai Foketi goes to Swinton. Now Mark Nwanganitawasi manages to get through the tackle attempt of Summer Penny now. When is the next stream? It is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Off to the left-hand side, Joey Walton and behind to Hannigan, Edmed, offload from Heaven out the back door. Jorgensen sold as if he was going inside to Foketi, but instead takes the contact himself. The ball pops out the back door. Edmed goes for the little grubber, awkward one for Stevenson. It's charged down by Edmed and it's gone into touch. What's Sean Stevenson arguing there with the referee? I think he's trying to say that maybe it was a knock on or offside, perhaps. Oh no, we're not going to see it. And Tars Mike wins their sports fan. A real scrum pack absolutely dismantled. Says Mr. Orland, and they were talking about it as well. Like the fact that that starting pack for the Crusaders were doing so well, and then off the bench you have Owen Franks and Joe Moody. Like that puts a bit of extra pressure on, doesn't it? That kick is down the middle of the field from Damien McKenzie. Doesn't find touch with it. Missed tackles, line-outs, errors right across the board. Says Mr. Orland. Once again, it is going to be Mark Nwanganitawasi. Tackle well. Although he's starting to get the legs pumping as well, while Samasoni Tokiaho was trying to drag him down. Tom Ross pop pass up to Lockie Swinton. And to the left again, Edmed goes off to Max Jorgensen, Dylan Peach. In fact, it's going to be Tristan Riley out on that wing. I think I called him Dylan Peach a couple of times. That's going to be the penalty now on the way of the Waratahs. Looks like Jordan Wayne now calling over the captain of the Chiefs. Oh, okay, Jordan Wayne has pretty much said if we have another penalty down this end of the field, someone's going to be sitting down. And not because he's going to drop them, because he's going to send them to the bin. Now, that's not good to have 17 minutes into a contest when you've already got one yellow card. And tasty rugby from the Tars tonight. Yeah, they're looking solid. Chiefs haven't really got into the half of the Waratahs at this point. Matt Dunning, as tight head's still going, mate. Says Blues, Nate. Yeah, just repeat infringements. Looks like poor refereeing game. I would say he's had control of it so far. Possession 83% for the Waratahs. Territory 96%. Up against a Chiefs side that normally do that kind of, well, no, they don't even do that kind of number to their opposition. Here come the Tars again. 5 metres out from the line. Another advantage. If you're the Chiefs, you actually want this one to go over. Or else you're going to end up with a man going to the bin that was playing the ball on the ground from Ned Hannigan. Shouldn't be allowed to continue. Now they will go back. Double blow of the whistle. Here comes a yellow card for the Chiefs. No one even knows who it is who's getting sent off. I think it was Tupavai. And now he is going to get himself sent to the bin. He's laughing about it. But when you give away so many penalties in a row, you're always going to be asking for a bit of trouble, and that's going to be just as Atino Nanasatoro returns out onto the field. Okay, one of the commentators is saying it may look like poor discipline from the Chiefs, but it's actually because the Waratahs are doing very well. But Atino Nanasatoro making its way onto the field. Like I've said, 80 tackles made by the Chiefs so far. Was that the number? 80? That's what the bloke said. I'll believe him. Guru Chief says, no, mum. It seems like they want to play with 14 on the field rather than the 15. Well, this contest nicely thrown in by Heaven. I've been told to use it once. Trying to wrap around here, the Tars. They're marching good and they've gone down just short. Gordon's got a free run to the try line. And he scores it again for the Waratahs. They've got 12 points, ladies and gentlemen. They are having a good old crack at the Chiefs early on. So does anyone know where Luke Jacobson is? Because this just seems like a really weird choice not to take him to Australia. Unless he's got an injury. What's going on, Chiefs? Says Phil, and yeah, they're really struggling. And, you know, it's an interesting one. We've got a good game here. And poor match officials, Australia Rugby will remain the same. Says, well, to be fair, the Chiefs have been ill-disciplined. Like, they've given away penalty after penalty throughout the first maybe about 17 minutes of this contest. But I don't think there's been too much that I would disagree with in terms of what has been a penalty. Like, you know, they've been offside, they've been in off their feet in the breakdown. It's that yellow card as well, but now Tane Edmed currently in the match, sitting 100%. And that will not remain that way. Now he's sitting 50%. That one's gone away to the side, 12-0 in favour of the Waratahs. Wallabies will be very interesting this year. There's Distractor Sports, that is true. And also what will be interesting, ladies and gentlemen, just while I remember, the Under-20 Rugby Championship. It's starting up on Thursday next week. First game, New Zealand versus South Africa. That's going to be a good one. We're going to be covering it on the channel, as well as the game a little bit later on between Australia and Argentina for the two under-20 sides. So be sure, keep an eye out for that. Like I mentioned, Thursday night, 7 p.m. New Zealand time. Should be a pretty awesome miniature competition. There's only 3 rounds. Everyone plays each other once. So we want to make the most of it and really get to see the upcoming talent for those 4 sides. Now, Kote's Ratama goes back across here to Samasoni Tolkiao. Advantage now in favour of the Chiefs. Ratama trying to find the gap. But he's tackled by Lockie Swinton. Anton, then a brown ball on the outside to Stevenson. Stepping back inwards was a Moni Narawa. Ratama again to Mackenzie. Dyer has his ankles taken out from underneath. And will Joseph Manu be selected for the AB's under 20? Says Blues. Oh, that was close to the skip pass. I think they've selected their side actually. Now that I think about it, one moment. All Blacks under 20. We got the news. New Zealand under 20 set. Tell you what, that's a great run from Sean Stevenson. He's got, oh, did he just pull his hamstring? He scored the try for the Chiefs, but I think something's just pinged for Sean Stevenson. That doesn't look good. And this is a little bit concerning for him here. Portugal can easily beat them, says Ivan. Well, Portugal aren't in. Wait, we're talking about Australia, I assume. Joey Marnie was in the NRL and Chiefs boys, says Daniel Cox. There's still enough time for the Chiefs, but here comes the try replay. Sean Stevenson, oh yeah. Something gives way in the back. Maybe a hamstring or a groin. But as he's running, did he drop the ball as well? We might have to see a replay of this one. It was a great step around Tane Edmed. We're going to see the replay here. Now he finishes. It is a try. He's headed to Union, replacing Rico Ioane. Not. This looks a little bit concerning though for Stevenson. Is he going to be able to continue playing? Good evening, Hamish and fellow Kiwis. Watching the game from Melbourne. Come on the Chiefs. Here's Andrew Watts. Now Damien McKenzie will be lining up this kick. Currently sitting 23 minutes through this contest. This is to make the difference between the two sides, only the 5 points. Jorgensen trying to put him under pressure. It's going to hit the post and bounce away for Damien McKenzie. It looks like Sean Stevenson's day is done. You hope that it's not a season ender for Stevenson, as he has been so important in that 15 jersey, managing to get through that defensive line of Tane Edmed. Craig has said, let's go the Chiefs. Yeah, didn't look happy. He's still walking all right. Well, no, he's not walking all right, but he's walking. That's probably the slightly good sign for him, but it's still not looking good. So Quinn Tupaia, he has made his way onto the field. That's an interesting switch, because I honestly thought that they may look at bringing on Josh Ioane, seeing as he can actually cover fullback and he's off the bench at 22. This seems like a strange choice. I don't know who their fullback's going to be in this scenario. Like, maybe a Tino Nana Satoro and someone's going to bump out to the wing. Maybe Rameka Poihipi does, but I would have thought the easiest thing to do would have just been Ioane on at fullback to replace Sean Stevenson. And then you don't have to worry about a reshuffle. I hope it's not bad. His class says Distractor Sports. Yeah, it's going to be a shame if he's out for a wee while. Hamstrings are normally tricky ones, because once you do start pulling one, that wasn't straight from Julian Heaven, but it's going to be play on. Mark Nwanganetoasi getting hit hard by Samasoni Tolkiaho. Announced a week ago he's switching codes. Question is, which club? Chiefs or the Blues? And I think the Tars had the Chiefs shook in the first minutes, but Chiefs will come back, no doubt, says Craig. And there's going to be another penalty against the Chiefs here. 25 minutes through in this contest at the moment. And that one, ooh, that's beautifully saved. Or is it? No, now they've said that he's on the touchline. So they will go back for that original line out, and it will be in favour of the Waratahs, who have got themselves the throw. Okay, that's an interesting rule. So pretty much they said Quinn Tupaia, he didn't go out with the ball, but what you're not allowed to do is jump into the field of play and drop the ball. You have to catch it. Whereas if you were jumping from, well, no, they made that rule around the wrong way, I think. In terms of, like they said about how if he jumps from inside of the field of play to out, then he has to catch it, but that would still be out. Considering all the position against them, or possession against them, Chiefs are doing all right, says Drink on the Moon. Exactly right. Like, we're seeing a huge amount of possession and territory in favour of the Waratahs, but they've had that one counter-attack, which is actually my original prediction a little bit. I said that I felt like the Waratahs would score first, but the Chiefs would get the first line break, kind of big counter-attacking try. Going to Japan to start with, says Distracted Sports. He's no match for this club's. Maybe he'll play on the NPC games, says Ivan there. Damien McKenzie, after winning the penalty for the Chiefs, will look to kick this one into touch. It's a decent kick down to about 14 metres out. He's heading to Japan, obviously, says Ivan. Just showing the replay there. Hannigan just off his feet, had his hands down. It means that he wasn't able to get that turnover. Now Damien McKenzie goes off to Caleb Boshier. Taken down low. Aussie's cheating again, says Kummer. Chiefs still with 14 men on the field. They will be back to 15 in a very short moment. Now McKenzie in behind the breakdown. Short ball to Moni Narua. So Titi joins the breakdown. Dyer plays half, goes off to Samapeni Finau. Still think the ribs are a bit of a whistleblower though. Says Drink on the Moon, and that's going to be the knock on from the Chiefs. Samapeni Finau not able to hang on to that ball. Now, scrum for the Tars. This is going to be only our second scrum, I believe, of this match. Now going to play for Leinster. Then sign up for Ireland. Says the Blues. Now didn't come on NZ. Says Ollie is the best. Clayton McMillan looking like he is wrapped up in quite a few jackets. Well, looks like it. Shouldn't be too cold in Australia at this time of night, I wouldn't think. Normally it's kind of a mild temperature. Well, then saying that, though, if you are Australian, it's probably a lot colder. Anyway, thanks for updating. Says Ivan. Now, the ball's going to be fed in. Waratahs are going to win the penalty here at scrum time, but it looks like the Chiefs, they have stood up, but it's available. Gordon going off the back. Great low tackle made on him by Damien McKenzie. Now, Hugh Sinclair taken down by Caleb Boshier. Any Fijians on the field? Says Octo Dad. Not a huge amount that I can see. We're going to see a lot more Fijians out there on the field, of course, for the game tomorrow. 2 p.m. They are going to be going head-to-head with Moana Pacifica. Last time that those two sides went face-to-face, it was extremely close. This game's going to be taking place in Fiji. Could be a good one. Yeah, just a knock on there from the try scorer, Julian Heaven. Or Heaven. I don't know why I say Heaven. He looks to me like he would be Argentinian, but I don't think he is. I think he's an Aussie. I'll have a look. Julian Heaven. Australian. Yeah, he's Australian. But he's not that much younger than me. That's quite scary, isn't it? All these players now younger than myself. In the under-20s competition we're covering on Thursday, they're all going to be younger than me, seeing as I'm not under 20. Cortez Ratama has been told to use it, go off to the left-hand side. Ramika Poihapi gets it to McKenzie. Now big storming run from Quintupaia near the close touchline. Ratama fires it back across to McKenzie. Tackle made on Tupavai, who has now returned out onto the field. I'm out for the season for rugby, even though I haven't done one training this year. I found out on Wednesday that I may have fractured my thumb from a year ago. Nice offload there. Now chance Nawanga Netawasi manages to put it into touch just as the Chiefs were looking for that last-ditch pass to Caleb Boshier. It looked like the gap was just a little bit too big for the Chiefs to be able to run through. I think I may still have a broken finger from cricket. And not the same one as I thought I broke last time. But just the tip of this one. You guys couldn't see my hand, but yeah, the tip of this one is not flash. But that's because I decided to try and catch a ball one-handed with a glove on, and it got bent backwards. Alex Nankivell replaces, or chances representing Ireland next Rugby World Cup 2027. I mean, there is a chance. Does qualify, I believe. He'd be eligible if I'm not wrong, so who knows? Now 30 minutes into this contest at the moment. Looks like we've got another drinks break. The Chiefs, 10 metres out from the line. They are going to have themselves the line-out throw. Wonder whether or not they'll go for the rolling maul, similar to what we saw for the Waratahs. When they have been on attack, that is where some of their tries have come from. Not just from this game, but also throughout this season. Now rolling maul taking place for the Chiefs. Slowly starting to make those few extra metres, dragged down there by Charlie Gamble. Did he do it legally? They say no. So the advantage is now in favour of the Chiefs. Your wicketkeeper says, Craig, I was at times. So I pretty much just went wherever I was supposed to go, pretty much. But yeah, a couple games I did a bit of wicket keeping, which was a bit rough on the hands. They're covering sevens next weekend, Paul A. I look the most harder, says Brandon. We are indeed covering it on the channel. We've got quite a bit on next weekend. We've also got the Champions Cup semi-final, I believe, is also going to be taking place. Here we go, Chief says Comer. And don't worry, champ, there isn't a player in the comp. I'm younger than, says Distracted Sports. Is that right? Are you sure? I can't remember how old you are, but I thought you were younger than Owen Franks, Tony. Maybe. How old's Owen Franks? I feel like you're about 38, Tony, from memory. And Owen Franks, oh, he's 36, whoops. You might be right, actually. There might be an older guy in the comp somewhere, surely. Hi, all, says Annoy, welcome in. I'm old, says Novmum. Now rolling maul, 5 metres out from the line again for the Chiefs, but so far the Waratahs have done relatively decently to be able to defend it. Change of mind from Harry Johnson home, so he's not allowed to go for it now. Cortez Ratama went to the short side. It's knocked on there by Tane Edmed. Okay, there was a knock on from Edmed. I'm sure there's an old hooker somewhere. Says Annoying. Here's my top 3 for Paul A. And I'm Mully. Says Ivan. And there's Argentina, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, there's some good sides. All going head to head. Of course, it's going to be an extremely important round of the sevens that everyone wants to be able to try and get themselves the victory in. I'm the big 40. Surely there's a player older than 40 in Super Rugby, isn't there? Super Rugby 2024 oldest player. The oldest player in Super Rugby. Here we go. Oh, okay. Only one game for John Afoa at the Crusaders is the one who pops up. And I think John Afoa, if I'm correct, is quite old. He's 40. When's your birthday, Tony? He's born on 16th of October, 1983. Since that's late in the year, I feel like you probably still have him beaten. Maybe. I'm 44. I'm probably within 10 years of your parents' age. Says Novma. Probably. I'm just very immature, says Tony. And yes, go the Waikato Chiefs, says Christopher. But that is going to be another penalty going the way of the Chiefs at scrum time. So they're struggling at the moment. Do you think an Anzac Day Bledisloe could be fun? It could be fun, but it's also one of those ones that during a regular season with so many players already out in the Super Rugby teams, like I don't know who the teams would be that they put out there on the field. Like it's a good idea on paper, but like in reality, in terms of who they've actually got available for them, it's a bit tricky to have a game. Could they have maybe bumped the under-20 rugby championship forward a week and then had the Anzac Day be the under-20s go head-to-head? That could have maybe been an option, but once again, I feel like that's also to do with when the under-20s are actually available. But yeah, it would be quite cool. I'm only 12 years old. Says Blues, no. Is that right? No. Go the draw. You got point. It's still in the season. Says Annoy. Was the oldest Super Rugby player of all time, Brad Thorne. See, that's the thing. They've changed a bit compared to, like, in the olden days, right? You used to be able to play till you were a lot older. It seemed to be there were quite a few 40-year-old players out there on the park. Nowadays, because of how different, I guess, it is compared to what it was back then, like, there's a lot more players retiring when they're only, like, 30 now. So it is impressive when you see a guy Normally it is the props who do go a long time, or the hookers as well. I'm 2 months older than Joe, or John. So he's distracted sports. That's going to be another penalty to the Chiefs. That is about 3 penalties at scrum time in a row. If they're smart, they'll go to the scrum again and they'll try and get the Waratahs a player in the bin. And we look at there, Radiki Samo was about 47. And she's got 15 players on the field, says Karma. They certainly do. And the question is, will the Waratahs have 15 men on the field at halftime? Because they currently have 4.5 minutes of just the Chiefs going scrum after scrum after scrum, trying to get them sent off the field. Question is it going to be effective? They've just mentioned it could be a yellow card if they keep giving them away. No, not Nate, says Brandon there. And you want to bet? Brandon says no. Hey, come on, says Verlin. So that was another one against the front row, angling in. Harry Johnson-Holmes under an immense amount of pressure here. Now they're ready once again for yet again another scrum. And this is using up a lot of the half. And, you know, I feel like, in a way, this is a good time for the Chiefs just to be able to really regroup about what happened in that first 15, 20 minutes. And just, I guess, work out the counter for it. Whereas for the Tars, you know, this is where the concern starts to get in. Yeah, but not with money, says Brandon. Cortez Ratama now feeds the ball in. Wallace Atiti, he's been told to use it. Gordon puts him under pressure there for Cortez Ratama. Another penalty. Offside this time. A lot more running these days, says Craig. Exactly right. Like, the tempo that the game's played at is a lot higher. Now Kalen Boshier coming over to Jordan Way, just having a little bit of a chat to him, saying that's 5 penalties within the last 10 minutes. We got sent to the bin for repeat infringing. As the officer do, players retire much older than they ever did in the past. I hate to disagree. With sports science and professionalism, our players are way older, says Distracted Sports. Maybe they are. Maybe it's just because of the nostalgia side of things. Like, for some reason, when you think back about, like, the older days of rugby, like, you always think of the guys who look like they were 50, but they weren't. So maybe that's part of it. How, you know, you look at a player and you're like, that's like a fully grown man. Like, he's got grandkids and he's out there on the field. But really, he's like 31, but just had a heavy addiction to alcohol. So it's like, there are differences. They looked older, says Nathan Smith. They did back in the day. I feel like they just looked more rough, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Like, they looked like they were in it to just rip someone's head off. Now, nice run out wide, and Moni Narawa finishes it for the Chiefs, and they get on the board after being inside of the Waratahs 22 for maybe about 4 or 5 minutes. Did you see UFC champ John Jones is gay? Not that there's anything wrong with that, says Annoy. I did not. When did he announce that? I know that he went to like a comedy club and heckled the guy who was doing the comedy and was saying things about how he was going to do things with blokes, but I think everyone just thought that was because he was drunk. Namoni Narawa scoring it in the corner. Great finish from him there. Broke me 12. I don't pay taxes, says Blues Nate. 90 seconds remaining though, and this could bring the Chiefs back to being even in this contest. You want to come on for halftime chat, Tony? Out of curiosity, not a PG-16. Well, what is it? Hamish Lights Than Rough, says Tony. We'll be PG for it, Tony, I should say, for this one. We always say that though, and that never happens, does it? Me too, I don't too. So here's Brandon. Now Damien McKenzie lining up the kick. He's got to make sure he strikes it early. The Waratahs putting pressure on him when it comes to those kicks, but he's got that one over, making the score now 12-12 with only the 1 minute remaining in the first half. This is a weird game because the Tars look so good. Yeah, I think that comedy video and other things via the MMA Guru, says Annoy there, and PG Hamish. No, never, says Brandon. Well, we try to, but we never really do it, do we? Now nicely taken by Jimmy Tupou. Now currently 20 metres out from their line. All bounce past there. And let's go the Chiefs, says Blues Nate. Ratama back into the pocket to McKenzie. They've still got 17 seconds remaining. Doesn't manage to get it into touch, so there will be one last crack for the Tars before heading in to the halftime sheets. Oh, there's a siren now. But like I said, we've still got the one last attack that will be taking place. Okay, dude, says Tony. I feel like you feel real cool when someone who's a bit older than you calls you dude. You know, when you like put on sunglasses, someone's like, oh, cool dude. And you're like, yeah, thanks. That was a weird random story, but currently we are seeing still a little bit more of an attack here from the Tars, ladies and gents. Max Jorgensen, and the scrum is too powerful. Box will win the next World Cup unless we change the rules, says Annoy. Straight to sports, feel cool mode, says Brandon. Then the Wanganita-Wasi. Oh, this looks like it's a bit of a head knock for Jimmy Tupou, who has stayed down. Now Ed Meg goes across to Swinton. Joey Walton. Tackle low, come on the Chiefs, says Gita. I don't know why I said your name like that, but welcome and hope you are doing well. I feel like I've got a lot of energy tonight. A nice run forward from Harry Johnson-Holmes. Ball's still there for the Tars. We're currently 1 minute past the half time. They are still going. There goes Joey Walton. Offload up out wider to Haven. Across to Mark Nwanganito. I see you're a cool dude, Hamish, says sports fan. Cheers. Oh, it's not gone there. It's all the alcohol makes you look older, says Robert there. That is now going to be half time. 12-12. A bit of an unpredictable first half between these two sides. But, yeah, anything can really happen in the second half, I would say. We're going to quickly do a scoreboard. Waratahs 12 and the 12 of the Chiefs at half time. There we go. But, yeah, a lot of physicality from these two sides throughout that first half, which has been impressive. And it's whether or not they can keep up that tempo throughout the rest of the game, or whether it does start to crumble eventually. Whereas old Brandon Dew, says Brandon there. Yeah, the halftime break now, ladies and gentlemen. We will get some stats as well while we are at halftime. Well, we have got a guest who is just around the corner from popping on. But yeah, unpredictable, I think is what we're going to call it. Halftime talk, it's 0-0, lads, says Nathan Smith. Well, yeah, like the Waratahs had the best of that first 20 minutes. And then, like, second 20 minutes or so was just pretty much all Chiefs. They've just shown a stat about Owen France. First Super Rugby try in 4,943 days for that man. He is one of the older players in their competition, but currently 12-12. It's the way that it sits. Chiefs need to work on their discipline in the second half, says Craig. We'll go here to the match stats. We will go like this, right. 192 metres gained by the Waratahs compared to the 144 gained by the Chiefs. These are unofficial stats according to the Super Rugby website. Defenders beaten 15 compared to the 3 that we saw defeated by the Chiefs. Clean breaks 2-all though. So that's where the Chiefs were able to get some of their points back. Offloads 4 and 4. And then also alongside that, the Chiefs had to make a total of 95 tackles, including about 80 throughout the first 15 minutes. Really kept them on their toes. Penalty count, it's not going too flash for the Chiefs. They've had 6 against them and they've given away 2 yellow cards compared to the Waratahs, who have had the 5 penalties against them, mainly inside of their own 22, yet to reach for the pocket for them in this contest. Looking quickly at the most metres made, Mark Nwanganeta-Wasi managed to make 46 for the Waratahs, having the 4 defenders beaten and the 1 clean break. And then for the Chiefs, we saw the most metres made by Sean Stevenson, who has now made his way from the field as he has picked up the injury. Tackles as well while we are at it. 8 tackles made by Lockie Swinton, leading the charge for the Tars. And then most metres made was Wallace Satiti, actually making the 12 for the Chiefs, the only man to reach double figures throughout this contest. 3 men on 9 tackles, that being Samasoni Takiaho, Kalen Boshier, and also Samapeni Finau. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost going to have a guest on the channel. By the looks of it, he might be having a conversation with someone at the moment, so we'll let him do that first, and then we will get him on for a little bit of a halftime chat. And discipline is key for the Chiefs. So I agree. I feel like it's going to be extremely important that they are able to keep themselves from giving away too many penalties. But ladies and gentlemen, you've seen this man before. It is Tony. He's going to keep it nice and PG because he's going to behave himself. And he released an interesting last video, ladies and gentlemen. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to check that one out. But Tony, how are you going, mate?
How the fuck are you, my man? I'm sitting here. That's the
You just did it, didn't you?
That's it. That'll be it. That's it for me. That's my fuck quota completely filled up. Okay, that's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Good.
All right.
Okay. You're like
All
George.
right.
You just never know what's going to come out of his mouth. But
exactly.
First half, interesting first 20 minutes.
It was
and
a
then
half of two halves. It was a half of two halves.
You could say this game is going to be one of quarters.
Yeah, a bit of a quarter game. Would you like to watch like the NHL? You know how they have thirds? You know, they have like periods of 3. Would you like that sort of setup? Like, how do you think that would affect the momentum of a game?
Well, we've seen it before, haven't we? We actually saw it in pre-season for Super Rugby a little while ago. They had the games of thirds, and you end up having, like, I think it was 30 minutes, wasn't it? And then you do 30 minutes on, and then one team goes off and the other team continues. It was a weird concept, but, like, do you ever think that they'd actually go to that in some sort of competition to try and spice it up? I feel like if anyone's going to do it, it would be America.
I don't often think about many things, to be honest with you. If I'm being completely honest, it's a bit of a sort of mouse and a sort of just an open cage sort of situation in the mind. But no, I don't really think it's I think it makes sense for preseason when you're just trying to get as many players to see what they're up to and where their fitness is at this time of the year, at that time of the year. But no, I don't think it's going to happen. But in terms of this game, you know what I liked? The carnal side of it. I liked it. It was a bit testy, a bit of biff. We shouldn't like the biff, but it gets you interested, doesn't it? You're like, hold on, handbags, jeepers. No one takes a real swing these days, but like the fact that it looked like it meant something to the players, that was interesting, wasn't it?
It was, but then the concerning thing is, after the first 5 minutes, that disappeared, it seemed. Like, that was kind of it. And I don't know whether that's because the referee said, hey, boys, settle it down. We don't want anyone to get hurt. And then Summer Penny Female put on that shot on Tane Edmed. And that kind of kicked it off again.
That's glorious. I came a little bit when I saw that. That was pretty intense. The hit, that is. That was I heard you were Mr. Knee-jerk reaction. You're like, red card, 4 weeks.
Well,
four weeks in the sideline. I was like, calm your farm. Jeez Louise, man. Just let's watch the hit. Just enjoy it. You're like, something physical and amazing happened. Punish him. You're the problem. No,
not me. It just seemed like the way that Emmett's head went back, I was like, this isn't good.
It was definitely not all blows need to be like, not all concussive blows need to be to the head like that. That was like a car crash, and you can definitely, your brain is going to shake around inside your skull. So any sort of impact like that is going to be a concussive blow, and that's what you saw. You saw the old whiplash is that's the thing you kind of look for, and you're like, someone's spending 12 weeks on the sideline, but it's just a good clean hit, a little bit, not the greatest rap, but just enough to get away with it, and just quality entertainment. But these guys are gladiators, but you don't want to be putting your body through that for too long, because that's going to have impacts on you later in life, sadly. But
I know that in the Gallagher Premiership a while ago, they did a study that was actually with those technological mouth guards, and they worked out that a lot of the concussive type hits, if that's a word, were actually from, like you said, getting hit in the body and then your head kind of jolting like that. It's not always bang to the head, and that's where those mouth guards came in, because you couldn't always tell when someone was getting a bit giddy from a shot to the solar plexus. But
exactly. I think Edmed should have had to do an HIA for that, even though it's not a blow to the head, but you could see that would have been nasty. Number one from the north, distracted. Oh, wow. Look at that guy. What a dude. What a dude. Blues Nate, you're a flippin' champ, and you're such a good man that I didn't even say the F word. I said a different word. I said flip. How about that? Hey, thanks for watching Hateful Heath. He really appreciates it. What are you laughing at, you sack?
No, nothing. I'm just enjoying it,
What are you enjoying? I feel like there's mischief afoot. I do. What? Oh, holy shit balls! Oh wow, that's $79
Thanks,
Australian.
Xavier.
Oh my god, that's like
Jeez.
3 million New Zealand. Well
I
done.
feel like we need to have a discussion about this now. I thought the Rebels had a shot at something great this year after 3 in a row, but no, back to our old woeful self. Our 4-pack tonight was woeful. Some of the worst I've seen. I don't know how much I can take this anymore. Dumb franchise should be cut.
No. Don't be knee-jerk, Xavier.
We need to mention, right, there are so many sides this year that have had a brilliant game and then followed it up with
the shitter.
That's pretty much what I wanted to say, but I kept it from coming out, But
you should never keep yourself from coming, mate. It'll fall off.
Yeah, that's how you get blue balls, isn't it? But I think that the Brumbies, they're probably a side that have struggled this year in terms of consistency. Like, they've beaten some great sides, and then they go into those games up against the Chiefs and the Blues, and they just don't have it. And the Rebels, I'll be honest, like, they've had a fantastic start to the season, but she's going to be pretty tricky from here on out for them because they've got some hard games just around the corner. But the benefit that they've got is, like, it's unfortunate, right? Because they are going to probably go down a few tiers, but I think they'll still be in the top 8 from the wins that they've got.
And then once they actually get into that quarterfinal game, they're going to be battle tested at that level. They're going to have a real understanding of the standard they need to be at. They know how to win football games. Xavier, I would, don't give up on them. Like, at elite sport, if you're like 1 or 2% off, you're going to get pumped. And they were just off the mark. They were turned up against a really, really fired up Crusaders team. And I think just the fact of having old Barrett dog roll back, that was huge. He made so many huge moments happen. I even think he impacted like the power in the scrum as well. He is just a monster out there. And I don't think it can be overemphasized the impact that he had on that team. And the fact that it was basically do or die for that Crusaders team. The 7-time, that was the first time they looked like the defending champs today. But if you're a Rebels fan, you've got to be happy with how they're going so far. They're a team that's usually getting like 1, 2, 3 wins a year, basically, and you've got yourself into prime position. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Have a bit of faith. Go through the ups, go through the downs. Have you never heard that one? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I've never heard it, but now I feel like I'll never forget it.
It's a very common.
It's a smart saying in a way. Well, as long as you don't throw the baby out.
Can people in the chat comment to Hamish, this very sheltered man, that's a very, very, very common saying? Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Xavier, the Rebels are in a great position going up on them. Keep watching, keep supporting them, and you never know. Are people telling you that that's a very common saying?
Not at the moment, no. Someone asked when's kickoff, but yeah, we're not too far away from the second half. Get him back underway, ladies and gents.
Yeah. It's not too bad. Who wins from here, mate?
Oh. Yeah, I feel like the Chiefs, for me, I think that they're probably 1 or 2 penalties in their favour away from having a yellow card for the Waratahs. Like, I thought the Waratahs were probably lucky not to get a warning throughout that first half when they did have so many at scrum time. Even as an Afrikaans speaking South African, I know that. Really?
Yeah.
Am I just...
What's that?
I'm so the baby in the bathwater thingy.
It's a super, super common saying. It is about as a common saying. It's maybe one of the most popular sayings in the entire world. I've got to be honest with you.
What about don't count your chickens before they hatch? That's one I know.
It's like that. It's like that sort of commonality. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. A situation where you would do it is if a rugby team
we're talking about throwing the baby out.
No, a situation where you would use that as you're talking about a rugby team and they're a really powerful, strong squad. They've got a great scrum. They've got great, go forward, very physical, but they're like, we want to start attacking with flair. And then they would say, well, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's remember which side of how our bread is buttered. Like, where do we get our mojo from? Basically, let's not diversify too much and then forget the thing that is actually good for us. There you go. How's that? You feel like
I'm learning a lot,
Yeah, totally.
How was? Sorry.
Oh no, go you.
We've got how was Scott Dix? Scott. over willpower owned him. Okay, I got very confused by that one from Gary, but we have got there, yes, I've heard that
Gary.
before. Oh, Tony, do you know there's moments like these you need minties?
Oh, yeah,
Says
absolutely. Minty's moments. You're probably too young for that.
No. Maybe a little bit.
Your extreme high pitch really didn't really do you any favors there.
I think that's about as high as I've gone since puberty. But
dude,
nonetheless,
can I give my new video a quick plug? So if anyone wants to watch it, go to look up The Haters Guide to International Rugby from Hateful Heath on my channel. It's probably my worst performing video of all time, but it's probably my favorite. So like it's different. You have to have a bit of a thick skin to watch it to be able to get through it. Did you find it offensive? Were you offended by it?
No, I don't get offended by much, but I did put the link in the comments so that people can check it out. We've also got another one from Xavier there right now, who's your captain for the Anzac versus the Lions. Ooh.
My Anzac versus the Lions. Who's my captain? Is that going to be kind of like a Barbarians kind of gimmicky team, or are we just like seriously trying to pick the best players across the two nations?
It's a good question, but I see that the players are just about to kick off the second half, so we'll have to discuss it in the chat. All right, Tony?
Okay. My thoughts were dog roll, by the way. Dog roll.
Or you'd have Scott Bazza.
Right now. If we're looking at the... Yeah. I think he's my All Black captain right now.
Ooh, okay. Till he gets a red card.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Thanks for coming on, Tony. We appreciate you. We might see you at the end of the game. Who knows? Maybe it's still popping around. All right. We will see you later on. Thank you for coming. See you later. Yeah, there we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, they are just about to kick off for the second half. Tane Med about to get us back underway. That was Tony of Distractor Sports. Anyone who doesn't already know him, be sure to check out that video that he has got there. But yeah, I feel like, is that a confirmed thing, Xavier, or is it like are they doing some sort of thing like that, or is it only Super Rugby teams and the Australians versus the Lions? Because I feel like they should do a little bit of something like that, or some sort of that's a bit high from Ned Hannigan. He ends up almost clotheslining a Tino Nanasatoro to start off the half, advantage already in favour of the Chiefs. And I mentioned about it how if the Chiefs aren't able to get that discipline, same with the Waratahs, if they end up with that discipline lacking a little bit, could find themselves in a bit of trouble throughout the second half with yellow cards. We've already seen 2 for the Chiefs. Little chip in behind. Quintupai chasing after it. It sits up for him. He's got Ratima with him. Does he want to use him? He's trying to link up, but he's gone down just inside of the 22. The ball is there for the Chiefs. McKenzie uses it. Goes off to Tolkiaho. Wallace Satiti getting through that tackle attempt to Lockie Swinton. That would have been his 10th. No, it wouldn't have. He's only made like 4. Sorry, I forgot what team it was. And it's confirmed Anzac Test, Adelaide, South Australia. Got tickets, I saw it the other day. That'd be quite cool then. Sorry, I didn't even know that was happening. So I feel like that's something that I should have probably known. But could be interesting. Is it going to be made up of international All Blacks and Wallabies, or is it made up of everyone else type thing? Like a Barbarians, like Tony said. An offload there from Mark Nawanga-Netawase, picked up by Atino Nanasatoro. This second half has started at a bit of a frantic pace. Chiefs definitely winning, unless the ref has taken some backhanders. Says Craig, can I tell you a quick story about clotheslining someone in rugby? Go for it. Big kick downfield. That one's going to keep on rolling. It's gone into the in-goal area, but it has not rolled dead. So Mark Nawanga-Netawase will be there and will put that ball down for the goal line dropout. A little bit of a cuddle there between Anton Leonard-Brown and Mark Nawanga-Netawase. We mentioned about the push and shove in the start of this contest. Now they've become buddies. Australia and New Zealand players only. I don't know if it's Barbars though. Yeah, so I'd assume it's the ones who aren't selected in the All Blacks and aren't selected in the... Oh, hang on. What date does... Because the Wallabies players, I would assume, won't be available. Will all the All Blacks players be available? Are they also playing something else at that stage? I think they might have other games possibly taking place. IndyCars last week, and Scott won the race, just saying. Says Gary, see, I'm terrible with my IndyCar racing, like in terms of knowledge. Like, the only guy, well, I don't even know if he's an IndyCar racer, actually. Never mind. I'm not going to say it because you might laugh at me for getting the completely wrong type of rally driver. Now, nicely done. Charging forward up to the 30-meter line that we actually have on the field due to the fact that NRL took place relatively recently at this ground. Aiden Ross now. Going off to the left-hand side, Jimmy Tupou. Taken down again by Lockie Swinton. Rush defence from Mark Nwanganetawasi, but he's been caught off his wing. And it's just a stop. The man on attack, though. Now George Dyer moves up to the 22. Ball is available once more. Has to take that one straight out in front of him. Aiden Ross with an outstretched arm. Ratima going back to Anton Leonard-Brown. Now McKenzie driven backwards by Harry Johnson Holmes. Met with a solid wall of defence. Great counter-ruck from the Tars, but they don't get the ball. Now Ratima tries to show off his pace. Been tackled a bit too high from Hugh Sinclair. That seems to be one of the Waratahs' problems at the moment. They're trying to tackle them around the head rather than the bootlaces. Ratima again, looking off to the left, but decides to shift it right to Anton Leonard-Brown and behind to Amoni Narawa. Breaks the tackle, gets it away to Samapeni Finau on his outside. Still 10 metres from the line. That is close to the turnover for the Tars, and they do manage to get it there. We have got there, let's score a try, Chiefs. See, here's Christopher there. That is brilliantly done from Tristan Riley. Get over the ball. And that has been 4.5 minutes of out-and-out pace between these two sides. Not many stoppages at all. I've got there already many years ago when I was playing junior rugby for the same club I play now. The other team just received a penalty and then tap and go. That's when I accidentally fully clotheslined them. That's what I used to do on Rugby 08. You used to just go for the swinging arm because, like, normally you just ended up with a yellow. On 12th of July, and Lions official site has it as Invitational AU and New Zealand as a team. Okay, so I'd assume that New Zealand players won't be available for that as they'll probably be in their July International. So maybe the guys, like a New Zealand XV type arrangement, how those guys were getting selected. Or might get selected, I guess. But for me, cards weren't in those games, so I didn't get sent off. And Shane Van Gisbergen, New Zealand NASCAR, says Robert. Now it looks like it is going to be another chance here for the Waratahs. Scrum feed in their favour. Jed Holloway making his way onto the field, ladies and gents. I would have been red in senior rugby, says Bad Ziblaze. Yeah, Holloway onto the field. That is for Hugh Sinclair, who didn't look too happy as he made his way off the field. Looked like maybe he was nursing some sort of injury or just wasn't quite running as freely as he would have liked. Now ball is fed in. Available off the back for Jake Gordon. Goes across Tainid mid. Going away to Isaiah Parisi. Wanted the offload. Doesn't even need it. Oh, he just tried to throw it and it goes straight to McKenzie. Gets it away to Wallace Satiti. Again, Amato Cero too high trying to tackle around the neck for the Waratahs. These boys need to bend at the hip. That's another shot from Tristan Riley. What is up with the Tars? They seem to be obsessed with tackling here for this game. I feel like it's only a matter of time till they get themselves in some serious trouble. McKenzie looking for the little pass over the back door. Kalen Boshier, grab it from Ramika Poihapi. The space is there. Mistake. He's played that one on the ground. That is bad from Tristan Riley. In fact, it's probably saved a try though. Just a penalty for Tristan Riley. They're hanging on by a thread at the moment, the Waratahs. They're trying not to throw the baby with the bathwater. No, that wasn't the same. What was it? It was something like that. I'll get it one day. Try not to... No, it's not try not to. Don't throw the baby with the bathwater, I think it was. We'll have to ask again soon. You know. 5 metres out from the line. Simasoni looks like a professional foul. I thought so. I thought it could have been possibly bad enough. Definitely with the repeat infringements that they've given away down this end of the field, could have been a yellow card for mine. Now out the back line, Quintupai, draw and pass, gets it away to a Moni Narawa, and they will score the try there. The Chiefs, hang on, we got time off. And gosh, level up. Says Ivan to come on the Chiefs. Says Nov Mum. Right, what's Jordan Wade checking here? And are we checking something? Cortez Ratma. Street Sports might have to teach Hammy some sayings. He's struggling out there. And Membros says Christopher. Yeah, I didn't quite have the smoothest of sayings, did I? And don't throw the baby out of the bath. Wait. Don't throw the baby out. Oh, sorry, out with the bath water. I read that as don't throw it out of the bath water, but yeah, we'll get there one day. And go the Chiefs, yes. Got some awesome or good momentum going, finally awesome. Says Drink on the Moon, and yeah, it's been all Chiefs. The question is it going to be Waratahs first 20, Chiefs second 20, third 20 Chiefs, fourth for the Waratahs? Are they going to be able to get back into this contest later on, or are they going to struggle? Probably the second one, if they can't get the Chiefs out of their half. McKenzie, sitting 50-50 for his kicking today. I'm down with the flu, so how are you today? Says Morning Lagrange. I am doing okay. Hopefully you do get better soon, Mornay, and you are resting and recovering and enjoying all the rugby that we have got on throughout the weekend to keep your company. Yeah, just some very well-timed passing from the Chiefs. And then McKenzie going in behind to Quintupai, who only had to pass it on at the end. Yeah, very well-worked try for the Chiefs. And that one. Chiefs will be in the final. Says Christopher. McKenzie goes off to Wallace Satitu, who actually had the most tackles out of any player throughout the first half. Fun fact. Now McKenzie, that was almost charged down. That one's gone into touch. Thought about taking it, and he does there. Max Jorgensen goes on the inside to Tane Edmed. Looking for the grubber in behind. Sits up for McKenzie. Lined up by Tristan Riley. Well, I'm starting to think doesn't know what a tackle below the belly button is. And Mark Nwanganetawasi tries to chip him behind. Doesn't get the distance on it nor the accuracy that he was after. You see the Black Cats winning game 3 and 4 to take a 2-1 lead heading into the last year. They're actually doing extremely well, this young Black Cap side, up against the Pakistan side that on paper should have been winning those games a lot easier than it has been recently for them. Counter ruck there from Simasoni Taukeiaho, but the ball's still there for Jake Gordon. Now goes off to Harry Johnson-Holmes. Edmed goes to heaven. We haven't seen a huge amount of him since he scored that early try. Now Gamble trying to bust through the defence. Edmed, short ball to Hannigan. The Chiefs are currently favourites, I do see as well, ladies and gents. Wonder if that is the way that it will remain throughout the rest of this half. Gordon goes off to Amatosero. That's great. We almost had it there. Tupavai. Where can you watch these Black Cap games? I'm at a loss. I believe... Oh. Are they on Sky Distracted Sports, or are they on... Are they on TVNZ Plus? Oh, that might be it. They might be on TVNZ Plus, Tony, to be able to watch them. Now, Edmed goes across to Hannigan. You're cool. Reminds me when I drove tractors and all I had was speakers. Says Gary there. Yeah, we got plenty of rugby coming up this weekend. We got Super Rugby. We've got URC offside against the Chiefs. This time it's against Tupavai, a man who has already had a yellow card. I've looked on both, can't find the games. Really? I have to have a look a bit later on, see what I can find. But I assume it's on one of the two, wouldn't it? Did you have to pour concrete the last time? I built a garage. What are you building now? Says Morning Lagrange. I know that we were talking about that pouring of concrete on Monday, I think, last time. So that was just a driveway. Next on the cards, I think it's a fence, maybe. I think. Now, looking for the 3 points here, the Tars. Interesting choice, but I can understand it, trying to close that gap there a little bit more. Plus, they haven't really had a huge amount of attacking chances throughout the second half so far. But Emir, it only just went over. But it's going to make the score now 15 points to 17. Tony Emir looks a lot like someone we had in our class at school, myself and George. I don't know why I felt the need to share that. He's now a builder and he waves like this. He kind of does over the steering wheel. You know, the people who kind of wave like, that's kind of what he does. Surprised the ref hasn't carded the Tahs for all the penalties and high tackles, says Craig. I mean, they're right on the verge, I'd like to think, although I don't even think they've had a warning at this stage. So it's hard to tell. That's nicely taken near the touchline from a Tino Nanasatoro. Now McKenzie goes up to Quintupire. Ratama out across the top of Vai. Now McKenzie. Flat border. Sama Penny. Finn now pins his ears back. Gets it away to Ratama, who just goes straight through. And he scores at Pakistan vs Black Cats is broadcast on YouTube. Is it? On the New Zealand cricket one or on Pakistan's cricket channel? I'll check New Zealand crickets. They got it on there. If they do, that's massive for them. No, not on New Zealand's. Well, yeah, it's streamed on YouTube. On Sports Central, it's called. I wonder how much they had to pay for those licenses, but they probably are getting a decent amount of views in return. We have got there a donation as well from Tony. Thank you very much. Putting out the hat for Legend Hamish for his awesome or his excellent contest or content. Cough up just a little bit for the dude, says Tony there. Tell you what, I read that absolutely terribly, didn't I, Tony? Now I get the conversion. The conversion is good. So now the Chiefs, the Waratahs took the 3 down the other end. The Chiefs answer straight back with a 7-pointer, making it now 24 points to 15. It's still a close game, though. Great running from Cortez. Ratama certainly putting his name in the hat for a chance at the ABs, that is for sure. Of course, we're going to see maybe a whole new look. All Black side. Nicely taken by Quintupire. Oh, that ball's loose. It's going to be knocked on as well by the Waratahs. So the Chiefs are in position here. Okay, they're going back for the knock on now. It's knocked on. 15 minutes already gone in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely flying by for this contest. Be interesting to see what kind of impact the benches have throughout this contest. I believe for the Chiefs, the only change that they have actually made is Quintupire. Other than that, I believe it is all the same for this Chiefs side. Whereas for the Waratahs, I believe that Tom Ross did start. They've made the change of Jed Holloway. And they've also got Isaiah Parisi on the field. I believe other than that, they haven't made too many other changes. Although now I do actually see, just as I said that, Langy Gleeson has made his way onto the field. So that is another change for the Waratahs. I can see it's Anzac weekend again. I've lots. Says Mono Lagrange. It could be a nightmare for the Waratahs over the next 20 minutes, says Drink on the Moon. And yeah, the big thing for them is going to be trying to stay within an arm's reach of this Chiefs side. Because if they do concede a couple more quick tries, it could be similar to that game between the Brumbies and the Waratahs, which pretty much was close at halftime. Another big fend there from Amoni Narawa. That's going to be a forward pass. Jordan Way says no. I don't understand how that couldn't be forward, right? Tupavai's knocked the ball on anyway. But how was that not forward? Oh, okay. The ball's been thrown at Mark Nawanganitawasi by the replacement prop, and we are back to the push and shove now. Not sure what made Jared Prophet throw the ball at Nawanganitawasi's head. I think he was just frustrated. Oh, and already they're getting called over again. And that was forward by Miles. Yeah, it's just forward. And what's the stream schedule for this weekend? Says Johan. So we have got tomorrow Super Rugby at 2 p.m. New Zealand time, that is, between Moana Pacifica and the Fijian Drua. Then at 4:30, we've got Hurricanes versus Brumbies. Then at 9:35, we've got the game between the Blues and the Reds. And then at 1 a.m., we've got Bulls versus Ospreys. At about 3 a.m., we've got the game between Munster and the Lions. And then at 5:15 a.m., we've got the game between Leinster and the Stormers. So we've got 6 live streams that we're doing. And we're going to be up for about 23 hours or something like that. So it'll be interesting, but we'll be live for at least 12 of those hours, ladies and gents. So if you are new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's like now Grant's going off the field, or coming onto the field, sorry, for Jay Gordon and also Tane Edmed. Is off the field for Will Harrison. How's Will Jordan doing? When he comes back to the Satyrs, he would cause a lot of top tables teams disappointment, although I don't think he's going to be back for this season, unfortunately. So he will miss those playoff games. I don't think he'll be back for the July internationals either at this stage. I think it's more likely November internationals. So when we're going to see him back, there's going to be another knock on from Caleb Boshier, which gives the Waratahs the scrum feed again. Starting to see a few more handling errors from the Chiefs. Lydia thinks you're crazy and wants to know if you pee. Says Distracted Sports. Well, that's why I've got this bottle, Tony, just in case, you know. But I do pee occasionally. Like, normally in between streams is the best time to do it. But I'd agree with that first half about being crazy. I don't think that's a very good idea to do 12 hours of streaming in a 24-hour period. But, you know, it's good for you. Oh, hi, Lydia. Hope you are keeping well. You like golf? Me and Tony should take you golfing sometime. Maybe mini golfing. It's a bit easier. It's a bummer. He's a key player. I feel like I just made myself a third wheel for a date for you guys. In between streams, great pun. Yeah, cheers. He's got a catheter, says Craig. It'd be a good investment, to be fair. The moment, another penalty going the way of the Chiefs here at scrum time. As against Lockie Swinton. What is your favourite comp? That's a good question. There's a lot of great competitions around the world. I was thinking about it earlier on, and I don't know why, but the idea now of the URC, right, with the fact that you go to a country and you stay there for 2 weeks and play 2 of the teams, I like that concept. They don't do that in Super Rugby. They normally go 1 week and then you come back type thing. But sometimes you get to stay for a bit longer. And I just like the idea of that, like an extended holiday, but you're still playing rugby. Now, nice run from Ramika Poi Hippie. 10 metres out from the line. Cortez Aratama, another penalty going the way of the Chiefs here. I'd say 1 or 2 more penalties against the Tars and they will go to the bin. Skip pass, drop by a Mooney Nuttaway out wide. Go back for another penalty there. Are you ever busting to bursting? Just have to hold it, says Tony. Not really, to be honest. Like, I don't think I've had a time on the stream that I'm like, oh, I'm about to let it go. And if I did, you guys wouldn't even know, of course, but I would know because it would be very wet. But like, I don't think I've had a patch where good pun, where I've been like, oh no, this was a bad choice because now I'm really gonna have to go for it. I don't think anyway. I also don't think if it got that desperate, I don't think I would use the bottle. I think I'd just be like, hey guys, I'm leaving for a couple minutes. See you later. Did you like Super Rugby better when South African teams were in the comp? I like the idea of it because you did get to see a little bit more of that travel. Hamish, let's have a game of golf. The winner gets a girlfriend, says Luke. Isn't that nice? I do enjoy a bit of golf. You know, I don't normally like play for women in terms of like them being the stake of the match. Off the back, Wallace Satiti, bit of a slip there from Grant, and he's missed the tackle. Through goes Wallace Satiti, and he's scored it for the Chiefs. That is close to a bonus point now that they are sitting on. The Waratahs have scored twice. The Chiefs, that is now their 4th try, so I think they still need 1 more. But Clayton McMillan, he'll be happy with that, and the Chiefs are now starting to run away with this one. It is almost deja vu with that Waratahs versus Brumbies game. Let's go. Says Blues Nate. Well, Wallace Satiti just breaks through that tackle attempt of Grant, who is fresh and only recently made his way onto the field. He just didn't make the tackle. Neither did Harrison, the other replacement. And then Satiti goes over. Yeah, that is pretty brutal. From Satiti, they just weren't stopping him when he started marching like that. Score now 29 points to 15, and the kick has gone over, making it now 31-15 in this matchup. Looks like the Waratahs' energy is drained with a massive smiling face from Furl, and someone might be a little bit happy about the fact that the Tars are starting to give away a few tries. Now kicked off, Taukei'aho off the field, and that is ball with Tyrone Thompson, who just brings as much physicality as some of those other men. Oh, never tackled, so he is able to continue running forward there. Now McKenzie back in the pocket. Kicks it down the middle of the field. They're trying to play that territory game at the moment, the Chiefs. Waiting for the Waratahs to make those mistakes. Now nice pass on the outside. Space opening up. Tristan Riley goes for the chip of mind. It sits up for McKenzie. And he taps it into touch. Very safe option for Damien McKenzie there. And streaming between streams. Says one up my kick. And there as well. No, Chiefs have the bonus point so far. Says Novmum. Do they, or are they on 4 tries? Alright, we'll refresh. Looks like they are going to go for the line out. Now, that's interesting. Because now, what they've just said, oh yeah, they do have the bonus point. But what they just said, right, you've got the option of a line out or a scrum. That would intend, or have behind it, that Damien McKenzie knocked the ball on. He used one hand. He deliberately slapped it into touch. If you've got the option, is that not a deliberate knock on? And if so, has that stopped the probability of a try? It's probably not that deep, but just the way that they talked about the options, that means that he has deliberately knocked it on and it could have been a penalty in favour of the Tars. You know, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the rules very well. Here comes Langy Gleeson. Only a couple metres out from the line. Another advantage in favour of the Tars. Harry Johnson unwanted over the line. He's just short there. And now the Chiefs are pulling away. It's like a cheap battery versus one with a bunny advert. I can't say names for copyright reasons. Says Craig there, but that is going to be another penalty for offside, this time against Jimmy Tupou. In fact, it might have been against Summer Penny Fee now. I don't think that we're too far away from seeing another change being made for the Chiefs here. And Chiefs need to defend to keep their bonus point. Australians, New Zealanders lost their lives on Anzac Day. It must be a sad day that day, says Mornay Lagrange. Looks like they're going for a 5-metre tap now for the Waratahs. Back across, here comes Langy Gleeson. Get him within a metre. Now inside ball to Swinton. No, yeah, he's claimed it. They're going to check it though, to make sure that he's got the try, but this might be the start of the Tars comeback. Remember what I said, how it could be first 20 go the Tars, second 20 Chiefs, third 20 Chiefs, fourth 20 Tars. We might be just seeing that here. There might have been a bit of obstruction though, which might have been the reason why the gap did look so open. So they're just going to confirm the grounding. And it's good. It's going to be the try for the Waratahs, who are now back in the contest, and they have stopped that bonus point try currently of the Chiefs. If they get this kick over, they will be within a chance. Oh, you know, they checked that one pretty quickly for Lockie Swinton, but they did say that they had a grounding. Bah, Hamish, was your team, says Mana Black. I don't really have one, to be honest. Which I know annoys a lot of people, but I just love watching all the sides. They've got their different reasons, you know, of why I like certain teams. Yeah, great grounding from Lockie Swinton, being able to reach out the way that he did and get that ball over the line. Oh. What's happened here? False start. Okay, the subs have all been made. I'm back, says Kristen. Welcome back. Now, ball is going to be kicked off. Nicely taken by Jed Holloway. Tackled by Tyrone Thompson. Still another 14 minutes remaining in this contest. I have a feeling it's going to fly by pretty quick, so the Tars have to make sure they are the next team to score themselves a try next weekend. The Sevens, I hope you're looking forward to next weekend. Says Mornay, we certainly are. Also the semi-finals of the Champions Cup. That's going to be stolen by Xavier Rowe. But there was a knee down. Now, that's actually a rule that hasn't been enforced too much throughout the last couple of weeks. We saw it in that game between the Fijian Dry and the Hurricanes. We also saw it in the game between, I believe it was the Crusaders and the Western Force, when it came to a player having a knee down, but the ball was still stripped from them and it wasn't given as a penalty. But Jordan Way enforcing it there. And now Will Harrison will be kicking this one towards the touchline with his left boot. And he hasn't found touch. Nicely done by Quintupaia. Learned from his mistake earlier on when he was told that if you are going to jump back into the field of play, you need to catch the ball rather than tapping it back. And that is exactly what he's been able to do now. Off to the left-hand side, Tupavai going in behind now to Quintupaia. Close to the touchline, and he's wrestled out there. Fantastic work from Julian Heaven. It's going to be another line out for the Waratahs. Get the try back, Chiefs. So here's Mum. Tell you what, if this is the end score in this contest, it's not the first time that we've seen the Chiefs blow an opportunity to get themselves a bonus point. They need to be clinical throughout this last 12 minutes and know that this game is not won yet. Still a little bit more work to be done. Heaven going to be throwing that one into the front. That looked close from Jake Gordon. A good shot coming in from, I believe that is Tupavai again there. Lockie Swinton having a bit of a chat with him. Vai having a smile about it. Swinton still fired up, but at the end of the day, all Vai has to say is look at the scoreboard, mate. Ball's gone high. And nicely taken by the Chiefs yet again with Quintupaia. Almost crawled forward. Xavier Rowe goes off to Tyrone Thompson. Drives up to the halfway line there. Rowe was thinking about milking a penalty. Referee tells him to F off. Not literally, but he should have. Back across again. Big shot coming in on Ruben O'Neill, who's fallen the wrong way. And the penalty goes the way of the Waratahs. Oh, there we go. Tupavai had a little bit of a talk to the ref there, asking about it, and then Lockie Swinton's the first one to come over and point his hand in his face and tell him that he's wrong. So there might still be a little bit more between those two throughout the rest of the contest. In fact, I'm keeping a very close eye on Lockie Swinton. We've got to remember, this is a man who in his international debut got himself red carded because he was a feisty individual. If you land on your back, you're in a bit of trouble. And brilliant work in the breakdown there from Lewis Panini, or Panini, I should say. Panini, I think it is actually, rather than Panini. Panini is a type of food. Now Lange Gleeson running off the back. That was almost a turnover there for the Chiefs. Right, here comes Lockie Swinton. Short ball. McKenzie misses the tackle, but it's Vai who forces the knock on from the Waratahs. They're calling it as a strip. They want it to be play on, but nice tackle from Tupavai. There's no strip there. It's just a knock on. Going to show the replay here, though. Jed Holloway, just no ball security there. Now, a scrum feed for the Chiefs yet again. Now 10 minutes remaining on the clock, ladies and gents. Looks like Charlie Gamble may have got some sort of injury to that right knee. Hopefully going to be nothing too serious. What a game it has been, says Kristen. Yeah, it's been a highly contested matchup between these two sides. And to be honest, if the Tars score next, who knows how this game is going to be ending. At the moment, though, I would say that the Chiefs have got a little bit of the advantage. Actually, a decent amount of crowd in attendance for this game by the looks. So, that random kid has just taken his shirt off. Now 10 minutes remaining. Xavier Rowe to feed this ball in for the Chiefs, who are only 10 metres out from their line. Hurry up, Chiefs, another try. That's gone down in front. No swearing, Amish. I nearly laugh, but I can't laugh because of my illness, says Morne. I don't think I've sworn too much. I kind of abbreviated what he said. OEF is refereeing this BS, says Scott Dawson. There's been a lot of penalties throughout this game, hasn't there? It is Jordan Way in charge of this game, though, if you are curious. Currently 9 points difference between these two sides. Just out of curiosity, Scott, is that who's refereeing it? Because you're like against the Chiefs or the Tars? Who do you think's getting the what's it called? The sharp end of the stick, would you say? Oh, it's gone down again. And that is going to be another penalty going the way of the Chiefs. I agree, Scott. He's made some dumb calls. Says Craig Arwell. Julian Heaven, not happy with that one. Kicking this one towards the Dutch line is Damien McKenzie. Didn't get a huge amount of distance on it, but wanted to make sure that the ball went out. Just hinging at the hips. That's what he's been penalised for there. Ready to throw this one in. Is the ref an Aussie? He is, yes. Jordan Way is Australian. Nicely taken. The Chiefs. As in, like, the Chiefs have been, like, hard done by, or the Chiefs are getting away with a lot, Scott? Because I kind of asked both, didn't I? So which one of those two is the right one? In that regard, now nice run forward from Josh Ioane. Recently made his way onto the field. Oh. Okay, they're going back for another penalty in favour of the Chiefs here again. It's going to be against Jack Grant, I believe. Has been penalised for that one. McKenzie will be able to kick this one towards the touchline again. I was seeing 12 penalties against the Chiefs compared to the 8 against the Waratahs. The guy in the orange, Aja in blue, thought is the referee, says Blues Nate, and who's the referee that's making so much trouble? It is Jordan Way, who is getting ridiculed. And this one now, nice short ball from Anton Leonard-Brown. Pops it up to Simon Parker. Came onto the field for Wallace Satiti, who had a fantastic game. Not saying the ref is bad, but he really loves his whistle, says Tony. Now McKenzie, ball on the outside to Josh Ioane. He sells the dummy, goes straight through. He didn't pass it though. It is a shame for Josh Ioane. And kind of always in the middle guy, the refs. Says Blues Note, but there was the opportunity. Just needed one more pass, either on the outside to Tupavai or the next pass, maybe on the inside. The Chiefs seem to be a bit hard done by. Says Scott Dawson, that was a big shot there from Isaiah Parisi, flying in from the side, plus 2 yellow cards for the Chiefs. Sus. Although one of the yellow cards was justified in terms of that 10-9 under Satori one. The other one, they were like probably expected to get a yellow, but I also would say that the Waratahs should have had a yellow when they were giving away penalties just out from their line as well. Oh, wasn't looking the right way there. Hit the hand, or the head, of Will Harrison, who was facing the wrong way. Tackle made by Jorgensen. Driving McKenzie backwards. They now have to release him, which they are failing to do there, the Waratahs. Now again, it's going to be Josh Ioane. The Falcon ball hit head. Says Blues Nate. Chiefs are 1 try away from getting themselves the winning bonus point here. Ioane. Short ball again to Ruben O'Neill. Ankles taken out from underneath him. Again, Xavier Rowe trying to milk that penalty. Referee's having absolutely none of it. Ioane, big shot on him by Lewis Ponini. Again, Rowe goes off to Anton Leonard-Brown, almost through the gap, but Hannigan's defence been relatively solid throughout the rest of this matchup. Another high tackle made by the Waratahs. Short ball from Xavier Rowe. Tino Nanasatoro steps, look for the next pass. Great pickup from Boshier, and he will run it into the corner. And that is now the bonus point back for the Chiefs. So the Chiefs win this. They will proceed up the ladder, Hamish. And the Cards referee And also one more try for the Chiefs, and I'm going to hit the piss hard, says Mana Black. Well, I would still wait. They've scored the try, but they've still got 5 minutes remaining. So before you get too wasted, you better make sure that they keep that bonus point, because we've seen in other games before, in particular the Fijian drawer, they gave away their bonus point in the last moments of that game. So you're going to have to hold off for 5 more minutes just to make sure it's secured. But they're back in the position of having one now, which is a big bonus for the Chiefs. Great pass. Xavier Rowe. Did I notice Satori wasn't quite able to get that ball away to where he wanted as a hit a Waratahs player, but a great pickup, like I mentioned, from Kalen Boshier to be able to keep that ball alive. Now only 4 minutes remaining. By the time this kick is taken, it's probably going to be closer to 3.5. Chiefs 36 points to 22 at the moment. They lead by 14. Kick here from Damien McKenzie would secure this match. He struck it very well, McKenzie, and it is over just by a little bit. And that is now making the score 38 points to 22. If the Chiefs win this one, will they go up to 4th place on the ladder? So this is the way that the ladder was sitting at the start of the round. So the only change now that we've seen is the Crusaders have bumped themselves up into 9th to be ahead of the Waratahs. The Chiefs, if they win this game and they get a bonus point, they would actually bump themselves up into 3rd at the moment. Back into the pocket, Josh Ioane with the step. Whereas if they don't get themselves the bonus point win, they actually still would move up to 3rd because of that points differential. But of course, the Brumbies are still to play later on up against the Hurricanes. So that is why it's kind of a temporary 3rd. Depending on what happens there, we may see other sides propel themselves up a bit more. Now, Waratahs looking to take away that bonus point again. And game over. Good work, bro. Out. Says Drink on the Moon. Anyone watching from England, says Craig. And don't let the Tars get a try. That is another knock on there from the Waratahs. Now going to be another scrum for the Chiefs. Hamish, do you know how long Josh Lord is out for? I actually don't, unfortunately. I think it was relatively serious, but then saying that, I don't know whether it's like a season ender or just like a few weeks type thing. And game says Daniel Cox, that's what I'm talking about. Come on the Chiefs, and hoping the South African teams have a better weekend than the last weekend, says Mono Lagrange. Yeah, 3 out of 4 sides actually losing last weekend. The only side getting themselves the win was the Lions, and they had a very good game up against Leinster. They're just showing the games that are taking place tomorrow on Stan Sport. They're showing the Brumbies versus the Hurricanes. That is not the first game, though. The first one will be Fijian draw versus Moana Pacifica. Oh, yeah, I've got the 15 task players. Wait up, we'll go like this. Should be all carded, mate. Says a Blues Nate. 2.5 minutes left. Need the Canes to win so the Chiefs stay in 3rd. And the Canes will win, says Craig. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird scenario, isn't it, Novmum? Because you've probably gone from hoping the Hurricanes lose most of their games to now having to hope that they win it so that your side can get promoted just that little bit further up. Game over. Think it's a season ender. I've spoken to him about the injury. He's been to the team doctor, says Daniel Cox. So yeah, another player who might be missing out on an AB's jersey this year. Oh, everyone says Yanlu, welcome in, mate. If you are, keep him well. A little bit of time remaining in this match. Just a 2 minutes. Xavier Rowe about to feed this ball into the scrum. And it's another free kick in favour of the Chiefs. I think they'll go for the scrum again. And that is exactly what the Chiefs have done. But they've been strong throughout the second half. They've looked like the much better team. In fact, no, they've decided against the scrum here. They're instead going to go for the free kick option. Okay, McKenzie may have run about 10 metres further forward than the mark was in that case, but it's all right. Took the quick tap first, so he is allowed to. 90 seconds remaining. Waratahs with the line-out throw. Jay Fonokalafi going to be firing this one in. Manakai Selby Rickett on the field now for the Chiefs as well, looking to get this turnover. Isn't able to do so. Holloway gets it away to Grant now. Diving tackle or diving take there from Lalakai Faketi. What Super Rugby Pacific matches are you going to cover, says Mono Grange. So we are covering the games tomorrow between the Fijian draw and Moana Pacifica. We are covering the game taking place between the Brumbies and the Hurricanes, and then we are also covering the game between the Blues and the Reds. So the only one we aren't covering is Highlanders versus Force. Now Ben Grant, or in fact Jack Grant, sorry, trying to duck underneath Tupavai. Lockie Swinton goes off to Jed Holloway. They've got 45 seconds left here for the Tars to try and get themselves just a little bit closer to back into this contest. Now, it will not change the result, but it will take away a bonus point from the Chiefs. They're going back for the original penalty advantage. 2 not rolling away. It is going to be the penalty. So 20 seconds now left on the clock. This is a similar situation to what we saw the Chiefs in not too long ago. If we've still got Tony in the chat as well, are you coming back on for a chat, Tony? Or have you clocked out for the day? Turn the ball over, Chiefs. Says Novmum. Currently 5 seconds remaining. The bonus point is in play for the Chiefs here if it continues in this fashion. Now Jay Fonokalafi again. Throw this ball in eventually. Come on, Jay. Oh, he's just taken a step forward. That was almost a pump fake, which I don't think you're allowed to do. But here comes Langy Gleeson. And go the Chiefs. Yes, sure, dude. We can have a chat. That's going to be the penalty now to the Chiefs, though. I wonder if that same link will work, Tony, or whether I need to send another one. Either way, I'll send another one just in case. No, that's a link to your channel. That's the wrong one. There we go. And the Chiefs are the strong side this season, says Daniel Cox, but they will tap that one. They put it out, and that is going to be the end of this one. Mackenzie did that just to try and balance the Aussie refs' earlier decisions. I'm looking forward to the Brumbies versus Hurricanes match and turn over the ball Blues, or sorry, Chiefs. And go the Chiefs, yes, and Hurricanes over the Brumbies, dismantled by the Blues last week. Ouch, says Blues Nate. The end score, 38 points to 22 at full time. So just to put it into perspective, at halftime between these two sides, it was 12 points each. So the Chiefs managed to get themselves a total of 26 points throughout that second half, whereas the Waratahs, they got themselves to 10, which isn't too bad. But when your opposition get more, that is when it hurts you, and that's what we saw for the Waratahs in this one. Here are you, beauty, says Mana Black there. They do walk away with a full 5 points, so that moves them up to 3rd place. And what a beauty, says Furlan in there as well. But yeah, certainly the better second half coming for the Chiefs compared to what we saw in the first half. Definitely that first 20 minutes, they really struggled, but then they found their feet. And once they started firing, they did not stop, which was a big one for them. 12 for the Chiefs and 12 points for the Reds. Or sorry, for the ref at halftime, says Craig. They are talking to Amoni Narawat, scored 2 matches or 2 tries throughout this match. 21 is his career, but 7 throughout the Super Rugby Pacific season. Is doing very well out on the wing. Quinta Pye, his impact off the bench was actually quite substantial as well throughout this game. Kalen Boshia starting 7, did look sharp. Could be maybe an All Blacks bolter. Who knows who Razor is going to be going with. Yeah, I think there were just too many missed opportunities throughout this game for the Waratahs in terms of just not quite getting that last pass away or missing an important tackle that then allowed them to run their way through. I just realised I sent the link to Tim rather than Tony, but that's all right. We can have a right team environment. Hello, Tim. One moment. We'll send this one to Tony as well. And we will go like that. There we go. First of all, I guess we better say hello to our first guest. G'day, Tim. I'm just so used to sending you links. I sent you another one.
Yeah, this is unexpected. I mean, I'm literally, I'm just about to have my little lunch dinner here. You know?
At the table.
Yeah. I was just like, what's there a link from? I was like, I'll just pop on and see what this is about. But no, I mean, like I saw most of the game, so I can also give you my take on it. I mean, I thought the Chiefs obviously were just the better team throughout this. I mean, for most of the game. But the Waratahs, to be fair to them, they had some good tries in there. I mean, like Gordon's one that I thought was pretty good, but I think Amoni Nawa as well, getting a double, just kind of just sealed it straight off the back in the opening half, and then from there the Chiefs Pacific kind of extended the lead in the second half. But that's a good win for them. I mean, that's really. I mean, I think it is a bonus point win, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good thing for them, because again, with the Reds playing, with the Rebels losing against the Crusaders today, of course that kind of means that the Chiefs, no matter what, obviously will take over. But with an extra bonus point as well, it just makes it even more sweeter. But yeah.
I should probably let you eat your tea, Tim. So what I'll do is, I'm sure we'll chat very soon, whether that's on a live stream tomorrow or something. But enjoy your, I think it was rice and salmon by the looks of it. It does look.
Yes, rice.
Very
just like the meal and the broccoli as well in there,
getting the broccoli going. You got to eat your greens.
Exactly, and the water just shows you the level of attention right there. I'll let you go.
Sure. We'll see you later, Tim. But yeah,
see you guys.
Catch up soon. Check out the podcast, ladies and gents, if you haven't already, with Tim.
Yeah, check it out.
And we'll see you later. Hey, Tony. Sorry about that delay. I pressed the wrong button, but Tim, there you what? That tea looked all right, didn't it?
It looked all right. It looked like some good kai. He was drinking something very healthy and water. Can't get much more healthy than that. And I've gone and bought myself. It was too much. I've overdone it.
That looks like about a 5-time shot of whiskey, is it?
Yeah, it's too much, isn't it? Like, look at that.
It's a lot.
I was like rushing to get myself sorted, and I shouldn't have, because I thought you were going to bring me on with Tim. I thought we could be a bit of a throuple, but apparently not. But I've gone too far. This could be dangerous.
Is this your first drink of the evening as well?
No, I was drinking a whiskey when I spoke to you last. So definitely, it's not my first, but I haven't drunk much. How's that?
Have you got a funnel?
Have I got a funnel?
You just funnel it back into the bottle,
yeah, but then that would Jesus.
Would they be light?
I feel like I'm about to be beamed up. No, could I funnel back in? No, that would be admitting defeat, and I'm not that sort of guy.
It would be, but it also would be probably the safe thing to do. It looked like it was that's a good half glass of whiskey.
It's true. I put ice with it, so if I put it back into it, it would be like weakening the whiskey altogether. It'd be me putting water into the whiskey.
You know what I'm hearing, Tony?
What's that?
I'm just hearing that you want to drink it all. That's all I'm hearing here.
It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Are you a whiskey drinker? Would you ever catch yourself having a whiskey? You're not a drinker of any description, are you?
Not a huge amount. No, I've never had coffee or tea. You
are a fucking weird man. I know I wasn't meant to say the F word, but what? You've never had a cup of tea?
Never, no.
If a 12-year-old said to me, I've never had a cup of tea, I've been like, you should maybe have a couple of sips of tea. But what are you? Well, you're 24, yeah?
I'm 24, yeah. Yeah, 24.
Okay, look, let's do this. I'll entertain the troops. Okay, this is going to be the big experience that's going to happen on this live stream. We're all going to see it. It's going to be great. Go put the kettle on. Put a tea bag into a cup. Then once it's boiled, put the hot water on top of the tea bag. Let it brew for approximately 2 minutes. Put a touch of milk in, and then let's see you have your first cup of tea.
What about sugar? Do you put sugar in it?
I find sugar in tea obnoxious, but no. So I don't put.
What about Lipton iced tea then? That must really get on your gears, does it?
No, well, that's a totally different type of drink. Really, I don't mind a Lipton iced tea. I don't mind an iced tea in general. It's pretty good. It's good. But let's do it. See anyone in the comments wanting Hamish to have his first ever cup of tea?
Oh, we got there. Get some beer, mate. Says Seller.
Well,
that's the first one. I don't know whether that's to me or to you.
Maybe it could be either of us.
Most of the Chiefs boys are from the NPC side Bay of Plenty, says Daniel Cox. Yeah, they did well. Did you just shift your whole table, mate?
I did. I'm a
strong boy. It's that whiskey strength.
Yeah, that whiskey strength. Can we get you to have a cup of tea today?
All right. I'm going to wait till I'm like 30 just to really make it special,
It's not going to be special. It's a cup of tea. They're very comforting. It's a good comfort drink. It's like just nice and it's soothing. They call it a golden stream of comfort tea, which is my mother told me that. She said tea, because like whenever there's like you know how people have dramas or some shit goes down, someone's been involved in a car crash or, you know, life dramas. First thing you do is if someone's going through something traumatic is you pour them a cup of tea. That's what you do.
Why'd you call it? Golden stream.
Yeah, that's what my mum called me. My mum, who's very innocent, you wouldn't believe how incredibly lovely she is. She really is. She said it's a golden stream of comfort, and apparently that's a saying. Speaking of sayings, it's a golden stream of comfort. And then me being who I am, somehow related to her, I went on to say, you probably shouldn't say that, Mum, and then explained to her what a golden shower was, which, she was like, oh, why do you have to ruin everything?
And then you poured the whiskey.
And then I poured the whiskey. Another golden stream of comfort. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it does sound like you are literally, you know, when you've been holding on to it for a few hours and then you finally get to go, you know, that's the golden stream of comfort. That's like me.
That is a golden stream of comfort. You're right. Have you ever been in a situation, like I've been in a couple of situations in my life where I've really just had to hold on to it for an excruciatingly long period of time, or like come very, very close to pissing myself. But the relief is such an incredible, amazing feeling that it's almost worth the pain. You know, have you ever experienced that?
Me and George actually talked about it earlier on. I think it was yesterday when we were filming. But
George and his woman of persuadable affections. My goodness gracious.
But yeah, it does certainly relieve you. You know. Like, you know when you really need to go, when you're like, oh, thinking I should probably squeeze the tip here just to make sure, you know.
Squeeze the tip.
Just to make sure nothing comes out while you're going around.
That could be your epitaph, Hamish. Here lies Hamish Booth. Squeeze the tip. They could be you. What about the rugby, eh? How about that?
It was good. You know, quite an action-packed game.
It was entertaining, but it could have been a real cracker if the Tars really stayed in it for a while. They all came out with all piss and vinegar at the beginning of the game. Were looking really on, and I thought, geez, they're on for a big performance. But just after that 20-minute period in the first half, they just were kind of dictated to. The Chiefs really had control of everything, and it kind of got away from them in a pretty dominant way, really dominant fashion. They had a couple of moments in the second half, but never really looked like changing the tide, did they?
No.
Winton scored? Was it Winton who scored?
Lockie Swindon. He was fired up for the whole game, wasn't he?
Yeah,
even
afterwards, I like the look at him. Yeah. Also like Langy Gleeson.
You know, he's been looking very good throughout this season. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the Wallabies seem to have so many loose forwards to choose from at the moment. But what are you smiling about, Tony?
Well, I really like the guy. You froze for me for a while.
Oh,
you were like,
okay.
I really like the what is it? Is Hannigan? Is that his name? Who's the guy
Hannigan?
for the Reds?
Oh, Harry Wilson.
No, the guy with the
Fraser McWright.
McWright, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy. He's a cracking player. I reckon the Wallabies have got a bit of a team, and then with Joe Schmidt at the helm, who's a bloody genius of rugby, they could, and he's not arrogant, he's no ego, he's none of that freaking press conference bullshit. He won't be getting attention for all the wrong reasons like Eddie Jones. If he just gets them playing the right rugby for their skill set, they could be tricky. Then they've got Wales, in this.
It's going to be, I think it's a 2-match series, isn't it?
Yeah, I reckon they dust Wales. I reckon they dust them hard.
Ooh,
that's my call. Yeah.
The young Welsh side too, though.
The Welsh suck my ass. They have not been good. They've lost every single game in the Six Nations. Every single game. They lost to Italy. They lost to everyone, and they have one close-ish game against England. And that's kind of theirs, big rival that they get up for. But they look awful. They looked all right in the World Cup last year until they met Argentina. And they did knock out Australia, didn't they? And then they but I think the Australian team under Joe Schmidt, with the talent they have there right now, I think they're gonna, in Australia, I think they're gonna dust them. That's my pick. Tony's pick. Tony's.
And if you want to see more of Tony's, I guess, controversial takes, be sure to check out this link that I've put there in the chat. It is to his recent video where his channel was taken over by a strange man.
Yes.
You know? And I'm not talking about 2 Cents Rugby, but we're going to be
hateful Heath from Huntley.
I forgot the name. I said Hamden, didn't I, for a start? Have you been to Hamden?
No. Have you been to Huntley?
Nah. Where's that?
So Huntley, you don't even go through Huntley anymore, but Huntley is a dog shit town. It really is a piece of shit. It's a hole. If you're from Huntley, consider your life choices. Lance Hohire was from Huntley. They call him the Huntley Hurricane. Do you even know who Lance Hohire is? He played for the Warriors. Anyway, I think the top twins are from Huntley too, actually. Sorry, Huntley. But yeah, it's a piece of shit town between Auckland and Hamilton. And it's, there's another piece of shit town called, beautiful word to say, Ngunnawahia. That's close to Huntley. That's another piece of shit town too. But those are 2 of the worst towns in New Zealand. They really, really are. They're just bad places.
They got a golf course?
Not as far as I'm aware.
I feel like that would be a great video idea as we go play golf in Huntley.
We go play golf in Huntley. There'll be a golf course not too far away. We could go to the Te Araha golf course, which is where my mum's from. My mum's from the Waikato. Good Waikato lady.
Depends on where you go, doesn't it? Depending on whether you get a good town or a bad town.
Yeah. Well, no, this is just like a really shitty shit town. You know what I mean? Not like Waimate. I'm sure Waimate's a great place.
Oh, it's lovely, you know.
I'll
tell you what, if I told you some of the stuff going on in Waimate at the moment, you'd be like, "Ooh, that's."
What's going on in Waimate at the moment?
Can't really tell you on a stream. I'll tell you afterwards.
Tell me, okay? Can we play a bit of charades?
I don't know if we can.
Okay, so just give me just make it absurd so it's not quite giving it away. So give me how many words, how many syllables, and let's go. I love a bit of charades. I just want to play charades
now. What can I say about it? You know, it's just controversy per se, you know.
Somebody's cheated on somebody else.
Controversial opinions that might get someone in trouble, you know. Not me.
Someone you know? No. You know these people?
But the town now know of them, but, you know, we'll tell you all about it afterwards.
Is there a cult in Waimate?
Not quite, but close.
There's a religious thing going on.
I don't know nothing.
Oh,
nonetheless,
religious.
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all being here on this live stream. Everyone who's stuck around late, you know, it's greatly appreciated you being here. We're going to have plenty of streams tomorrow, aren't we, Tony? You list the streams that we've got, mate.
Yeah, well, we're going to be watching Debbie Does Dallas first, which is going to be great. Then we're going to watch Edward Dildo Hands. We're going to be giving some live commentary throughout that one. And then we're just going to be finishing it off with a classic. We're going to be live streaming and commenting on Deep Throat, which some classic porns that we're all going to be watching together. We advise don't masturbate on the channel itself. Don't describe it. But it's just more about an artistic taste on all your favorite porno, basically. So that's the live stream.
And the rugby, Super Rugby, URC as well.
Oh, yeah. Some of the rugby, sorry.
Yeah, some of that as well. But nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in. What in the world of 480 cameras is this? Get a boom, for God's sake. Must be South Islanders. What says why? No, he's from the North Island, mate.
North Island, dude.
You know, you just insulted your own kind.
They sound like an angry fellow or lady.
Well, I mean, their name literally is YOY, so I feel like maybe the world hates them.
Yeah, like I'm definitely. I haven't even used the proper webcam this time, but I just was like, couldn't be bothered setting it up. So no offense.
That's fair enough. No, that's fair enough. Yeah. It's only the Kiwi lads.
You can see me. You don't want to see us in 480p. Nobody wants to see that.
Nonetheless, I guess, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the time that me and Tony head on out. He's going to finish his whiskey, and I'm going to finish some editing, which is very exciting. I know what one sounds more intriguing, but nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. 2 p.m. tomorrow is when the stream is going to be taking place. Fiji and Draw versus Moana Pacifica, followed by the Brumbies versus the Hurricanes, followed by the Reds versus the Blues. Then we got the 3 games of the URC, Bulls versus Ospreys, Lions versus Munster, and Leinster versus the Stormers. So be sure to check those out. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also be sure to check out Tony's channel. The link is there to his latest video. And we will see you all for the next.